Dry fire practice is pretty useful. However, I think the way a lot of people do it is pretty dangerous. Probably not for the reason that you're thinking. So, if you don't know, dry fire practice is where you load your firearm with snap caps or just leave the chamber empty and you pull the trigger and sort of just practice your grip, your trigger pull. Maybe sometimes people use like a little laser bullet to see where their aim is landing. But what I see a lot of people doing is they'll try to go as fast as possible. Like they'll just rep pulling the trigger, cycling the slide back and forth, pulling the trigger again, cycling the slide to reset the trigger. And that is going to affect your muscle memory. That is going to stick in your brain. And I think, especially if you wind up in a self defense situation where your sort of, slow brain shuts off and you only are dealing with your fast brain, that could create a situation where you just sort of automatically cycle your slide after pulling the trigger because that's what you've trained, right? You've spent a lot of time doing that and your brain is going to remember that. So, at least me personally, every time I do dry fire practice, I always, after pulling the trigger, I sort of mentally pause and, count to like 3 or 4 in my head just to make sure I'm not connecting those two actions because yeah, I worry. I'd love to see like some studies on this because I feel like it's got to affect people, right? Like if you're doing that many reps, just like physically doing the same action, that must affect your muscle memory and really like screw you up, right? In a stressful situation. But yeah, that's my hot take for the day.